Well, welcome back. Hope everybody had a great time with taking that Christmas week off. Hope you all had a safe and wonderful Christmas. And now we're kind of back at it for the final week of RAD 300 Residency for Distance Learning. I see that some of you have actually completed all the activities required for the course. I do ask, though, that you continue to check in this week for things that will be posted in the course news leading up to the start of the semester, which is on Monday, January 6th. So just run down some things, especially for those folks who have come in. We did have a good group of students come in during the Christmas break and kind of get started with the RAD 300 that didn't start in the very first week. So just kind of touch base with you folks that are new, and just to kind of recap with the folks that started originally and what's really required for this RAD 300 course. This is a pass-fail course, and there are 4 simple activities that you need to do that really demonstrate that you know some of the basics of desire to learn, and that you also understand some of the kind of the fundamentals of your program. And they're, again, very, very easy to do, but there are tasks that you will use all the way through your academic career here at Mercy College. So let's just kind of go over those tasks real quickly. They're the 4 things that you need to do in order to get the passing grade in this class. And if you noticed in this, as you're going through RAD 300, you have learning activities and you have assignments. Now, what I'm referring to are the 4 mandatory assignments. The learning activities are kind of a reinforcement, an exercise, practicing some of those desire to learn skills. Not absolutely mandatory, but things that you want to try to do. They're relatively easy. One of those learning activities was your barcode, getting the library barcode. Again, I'm not going to grade you on that, but it's something that you want to do. All right, but let's go back to the most important thing, the 4 assignments that are due for this course. First one is the reading assignment. You'll find that in Module 1. This course is made of 2 modules. So you'll find that in Module 1. It's in the table of contents, pretty easy to find. Go to Module 1. As you're working through that, you had a reading assignment. Again, very easy, where you read an article about 3 to 5 pages long on the development of baccalaureate programs in medical imaging. Then you were to write a summary of that. You're going to have a brief summary in a Word document and submit it to a Dropbox. That does a couple things. 1, you learn about baccalaureate programs. 2, I can see that you can actually download a PDF, and if you don't have the right readers installed and all that, we can get that solved before you start entering your academic courses. And 3, again, you are submitting an assignment to a Dropbox. So you're composing an assignment in a Word document and you're submitting it to Dropbox. So you're kind of practicing a lot of the basic skills that you'll use throughout the entire program. Okay, so that was your first assignment, was the reading assignment. The second one, which was found in Module 1, is a discussion. And in most, if not all of your courses, you'll have some sort of discussion group, discussion forum, discussion question, but it will look very similar to what you did, where you'll make some initial posting to a discussion board, and then you may be required to follow that up. We want to make sure that you can do a basic thread of discussion. So you have those 2 assignments in Module 1, reading assignment and discussion assignment. In Module 2, you have the web review, which just going out to the web, finding some article within the past 5 years related to medical imaging, and writing a brief summary. Again, kind of emphasizing composition skills. Can you put something together and submit it to a Dropbox? So you have that assignment. And then the last one that you'll find in Module 2 is a journal reflection, kind of how you feel about the program as you're just beginning to start this program. Do you feel that you're ready, especially with the D2L skills, being able to log on, being able to navigate through a class? Do you feel that you're ready in that way? Again, you're emphasizing and repracticing some of these basic desire to learn skills or D2L skills that you'll use throughout your entire academic career. So make sure you get those 4 assignments in. You get those 4 assignments in, I'm not going to harass you for them, and you pass the course. If for some reason I see that they haven't been submitted, then I'll email you and find you and see what happened. Maybe we had a problem with submission. We've had that just about every semester where a student thinks they've submitted to the Dropbox, but they didn't. Or maybe you submitted it to the wrong Dropbox. These are all common problems that happen even when you're in your final year of the program. I just had a student last semester where she submitted to the wrong Dropbox of the wrong class. So it can happen, especially when you're looking at a desktop and you're trying to click on the right document to upload. It can happen to the best of us. So again, make sure you have those 4 assignments done. Also, as I look at my notes here, please make sure that you scheduled your mini conference. I know many of you have already had this, but schedule your mini phone conference with Erin House. Erin is your academic advisor. You can find the information for that mini conference in the course news. The course news is a very, very important communication tool, so make sure you are checking that frequently this week up until the course ends. I would say even check it on Saturday. I may, who knows, I may have some updated information for you on Saturday. So please check the course news often. But you'll find all the information for scheduling that mini conference with Erin in the course news. So please do that. This mini conference only lasts about 10 minutes, maybe less, or as long as you want. But it's a way for you and Erin to discuss your academic plan of study. Erin helps me in helping you succeed in this program. So she's your academic advisor. She helps me with a lot of those duties that you have with what courses should I take? Do I need to redo my study plans? She's a great resource for that. Of course, you can always count on me, but Erin's there to help as well. So she's one more resource, and we wanted to introduce her to you at the very beginning because she's a very, very important resource for your ultimate success here at the college. So please take a few minutes to talk to Erin. The next thing that you want to have done, or if you haven't done it now, do it like tonight, is order your textbooks. It should be in your new student checklist that all of you received when you got your packets. That was part of it. Order textbooks immediately. If you haven't done so yet, you do want to do that absolutely right now. And at this point, especially if you are ordering textbooks for a class that runs in the first 8 weeks, the second 8 weeks you're fine. You got 2 months to get those textbooks. But for those classes that start on Monday, January 6th, you want to make sure that you have those textbooks in hand. It is very, very difficult to catch up if you don't have a textbook. If for some reason you do not have a textbook, please, please, please communicate with your instructor that you don't have it, you got a quick ship, it's on the way, and we'll see what that instructor can do for you. Might be a PDF of the first few chapters, maybe something of that nature that we can do. But hopefully you're not putting yourself in that bind where you don't have textbooks yet. Okay, and then also I alluded to it before, the barcodes. Most of you have submitted the order for the library barcode. Now, we don't actually issue you a barcode. We issue you a series of numbers, which equates to a barcode. But you do want to have that, basically that library card. Because what that does is you're going to be able to access the Mercy College library resources online from anywhere, anytime. This is a huge time saver, huge. You don't have to go to physical libraries to do your papers. You can get all of your journal articles that you need, peer-reviewed, scientific articles, right from our own library resources in most cases. So please do that. Now, I think someone did post a question in the virtual office, which is great. Thank you for using the virtual office. Remember, the virtual office is for those questions that are kind of a general nature. You don't want to put personal questions in there like in any of your classes. There's always going to be a virtual office, but do not put anything personal like relating to your grades. Hey, Professor so-and-so, I received a 92 on this, why did I receive that grade? Those are not really the kind of questions that you want to put in there. But maybe you were going through a quiz and one of the questions was a little confusing. By all means, put that in there. I think that would be a good forum for that. So again, remember to keep the private things private, and the things that would help the class in general, you can use the virtual office. So, but again, I think, again, one of the students, I forget her name, but she put it in the virtual office about how do I order my barcode? How do I get that library barcode? Well, what you do is you go to, it's in the table of, look in the table of contents for this course, and within there, there is a subcategory called Staying Connected to Campus. Click on that, and one of the learning activities is to fill out a form. It's a Word document. Fill out that form, type your information in, save it to your desktop under a different name, and then submit it back up to the Dropbox. So again, you're getting more Dropbox practice with that too. And then I print those out and run them down to the library. So, and then the library emails you your barcode very shortly after receiving those. So you can start, you definitely want to save that number and keep it handy because you'll be using it all the way through till graduation. So please do that. And let's see, that pretty much concludes kind of the beginning of this week, your final week, on some things just to revisit. If you have any questions, especially the new folks that have just kind of joined us or are going to finish this course up in less than a week, don't hesitate to contact me either by email or contact me through the virtual office, and be happy to kind of walk you through it because I know we have a few less days with you folks. But keep in mind that even if you started this on Thursday of this week, it's very easy to finish the entire course. It takes about 8 hours in total to do, so you could break it up in 3-hour chunks. And if you already have a familiarity with online learning platforms such as Desire to Learn or Angel or Blackboard, there's a few major virtual campuses out there. This should be pretty easy for you. So other than that, please remember to check your course news a couple times this week. Remember that the course news only holds about 4 to 5 news items. After that, the news items are sort of archived off the main page, and you have to click a button or link on the very bottom that says see previous news items. So catch yourself up, click that button on there, that link that says, scroll all the way down on the main page of the course, click that button and look at all the previous course newses that may have already fallen off because we've already reached our capacity on the front page. All right, excellent. Well, again, welcome back everybody, and as always, thank you for watching.